Why many of us just keep avoiding life and just never let it happen. We fear our own life. We fear our own karmas. We fear our own destinies. We never let it happen. Why is this so? I'm going to give you a spiritual perspective on that. So, um, I have a lot of examples to share with you. But let me start with a Disney Pixar movie that I saw recently. So I saw a movie called Wish. It's a Disney Pixar movie, and it's a kids movie, animated movie, and there's a lot to learn from animated movies, I have to say, especially from Disney Pixar. Disney Pixar is really intelligent. So it's such a beautiful movie. So though I feel that, you know, uh, I still feel that Disney Pixar sometimes show a very clear evil and a good person sometimes. I mean, maybe in this video I feel that they just dramatically showed the evil and the good, though they don't do that usually. But still, the movie was good in many ways. So yeah, let me discuss that movie. I like Marvel because you know how the villains also have a story. They have a story. I like Marvel. I mean, for example, WandaVision, you know, the Agatha was the vamp, and the new series that has come up of Agatha all along. I feel ki that villain, now her story will also be revealed. So Marvel is very beautiful in that sense. Even Thanos, why he villain, So it is told to us, Marvel tells that to us, like why was he really a villain? Even Harry Potter, you know, Tom Riddle, he went through a lot in his life. I mean, he had inferiority complexes and traumas, and that's why he became Voldemort what he became. So I love how Marvel, and some intelligent movies, they show a side to villains as well. Okay. So I feel that this was a little missing in this movie. Here, let's just discuss the movie. So it's a very pretty movie. So the story starts with the king. The story starts with a boy who is yet not a king. Okay. And he has been, he has a wish in his heart. Okay. And it is, he has a wish for, he has been exploited in a land. Okay. So he wished for freedom. Okay. And at that point, that wish seems impossible. Okay. So he went through a lot of trauma and everything. And then, of course, he, uh, you know, went away from the islands, went away from that land and everything. Okay. And went and, you know, took up an island. Okay. And he learned magic, he learned sorcery, he learned powers. Okay. He learned all of that. Okay. And he became the king of the island there, and he welcomed everybody. He was very nice and kind to everyone. So he welcomed everybody, he wanted everyone to be happy and everything. And so whoever was, didn't have a place to stay by or something like that, he called to his land, and people used to stay, in his island forever, and nobody wanted to leave that island. Everyone was happy. And he learned sorcery. So he learned sorcery because he wanted, people to give him his wishes. So that's exactly why the name of the movie is Wish. So he wanted everyone in that village to give him his wishes. Okay. And then he would, using sorcery and magic, he would catch up all those wishes, and keep it in a room, so keep it in his palace. Okay. So he would keep it locked up in a room in a palace. He would keep all those wishes of everyone, and there used to be a ritual. Okay. Every now and then. And then that, in that ritual, he decides that whose wish will be, um, you know given permission to, or whose wish will become true, using his magic. Okay, so everyone gave him his wishes, everyone told him his wishes, and then forgot about it. Okay, so when you trade that wish, then people forget about it, right? So they trade the wish. Okay, the citizens trade the wish with the king. Okay, he catch them hold of it using sorcery and witchery, and then they forgot about it. So सबने सब trade करते थे wishes king के साथ. So they would forget their wishes, right? And there used to be a ritual on that, and it would come like once in a year or something. So on that ritual night, the king would command, or king would fulfill one wish out of the many. Okay, so that means many people died without having their wishes come true. Okay, so because not everyone's wishes were to be fulfilled. And yeah, that's all was there. So what happened is, now this there was this girl. Okay, she's a heroine of the movie, that is Asha. So Asha is a Hindi word for hope, right? And the name of the movie is Wish. It's beautiful in that sense. So wishes and hope and everything. Okay, so this is Asha, this is the girl. And like she is the one who really protest and rebels against the king. She says that he has no right to keep our wishes to himself. Okay, because people forget their wishes, and that's not how it should be, isn't it? you know so king is a lot of explanation of that. Once I had a wish. So he explains his trauma, that once I had a wish and I knew that it couldn't be possible at that point of time. It's only later on that I left that land and everything, and I learned sorcery so that I could fulfill, so that I could just never let anyone feel the pain of not that wish or desire being fulfilled. So this is a trauma that the king carried. Okay, and he made sure that no citizen of his you know kingdom will feel that pain of because many wishes are impossible and they cannot be fulfilled. So he would allow the very simple wishes, like somebody said, I want to be knight of the king. So he would allow these wishes. He wouldn't allow wishes like, I want to fly, I want to build this something or build that. So he would never allow those wishes to come true, because he feels those impossible wishes are such a burden to keep. Okay, so he is so caught up in that trauma of his. Okay, and but this girl Asha, she rebels and she says that it's fine. It's such a kind of a power. you know I mean, even if that wish hasn't come true, it's such a kind of a power. It's okay if even if that wish is an impossible one. They still, everyone has a right to keep it to themselves. So it happens, even in our, that's how governments even work. Citizens give their wishes and desires to the government, to the politics, so much, that they live without it. you know they have forgotten their wishes, they've forgotten their real desires. Okay, and of course we are on top of that. We are programmed with the desires that government wants to give us, or the advertisement company wants to give us, the manufacturing companies want to give us. They give us all kinds of desires that are not ours, right? They give us all kind of wishes that are not ours, right? And the real desire and wishes that we have, they seem so impossible that we give it away, maybe to that of course they cannot be possible, or to the government, that government has to do something about it, or something like this. So it was such a beautiful movie in that sense. And later on, the things turned out in a way that things turned out in a way that now everybody just wanted to want their wishes back, because they realize it is such a power that they've given to the king. Because at some point of time, king became so annoyed by Asha, the heroine, the movie actress, the protagonist. He became so annoyed by that girl, a small little girl, that he started eating those wishes, because those wishes were also kind of power, right, that they gave to another uh, person, right? So he started using dark magic, and he started eating those wishes that people have given it to them, because it's a kind of a power that they have given to the king, right? He started eating it and started using it against you know the people itself, because he was so annoyed by the rebel. So I think it's such a beautiful movie in that sense, that, and ultimately the answer here is that your wishes, your desires are your power, and this is the truth. Okay, I know हमें spirituality, जो false spirituality हमें सिखाती है, you should not have desires. That is so wrong. You shouldn't have desires. But sometimes it's universe speaking through you. What if, Wright brothers never thought that um, we could fly or something, you know? What if they didn't had that desire? What if Steve Jobs didn't have any desire, yaar? We wouldn't have, you know, iPhones and stuff. What if, people, what's the name of the guy? Forgetting it. So what if these people didn't have desires? We wouldn't have things that we have now, from small gadgets to big things in life, right? So, false spirituality will teach you desires are bad or something like that. Lust is bad, or okay, so there was a point of time, in people actually, out of greed, okay, out of greed for power or spiritual powers, they would not involve themselves, in activities and sexual activities, okay. They would completely refrain themselves from that, okay. Out of greed for spiritual powers, they would do complete, sacrifices of simple life happenings, okay. Simple चीज़ों को sacrifice करके they wanted to have, they had a greed for spiritual powers. So, they used to do it, okay. But but even if you get spiritual powers like that, you are suffering, because you are denying yourself your own desires, you're denying yourself your own wishes, you're denying yourself, you're judging yourself, in some way your ego judges you, okay, for having those kind of desires, or because you're programmed by false spirituality, which tells you that you shouldn't have desires or something like this. People stop life from happening to them. They are so fearful of things like, maybe what if this doesn't work. People are so fearful of getting into, relationships. People are so fearful of simple things now. I see that in people. I see it in people's eyes. They're so fearful of getting into relationships or marriages, or, because it's just, they they are hesitant. They fear the fear. You know, they fear the illusory. Fear is an illusion. It hasn't even happened yet. And maybe things are going to go wrong. So what? That's life. You know and when at last all those people got their wishes back, they were happy. They were working on it, even if it doesn't turn out to be true. But all the citizens had the lesson finally, that even if their wishes didn't turn out to be true, or even if they were, the burden of that it is impossible to occur was too much. At least I think the burden of forgetting those wishes was made them sad, made them more sadder. Okay. So the pain of forgetting those wishes made them more sad. make them more sadder, you know. So it's better to have or work on your wishes, thinking or maybe knowing that maybe it might not be possible, but someday down the line, maybe the other generation can do it, or whatever. So, working on those desires, even if they're impossible, you know, so that was such a, that gave them such a joy, rather than just not, you know, giving the wishes to somebody and forgetting about it. It just made them dull and boring. Everybody felt, all the citizens felt that they were just dull and boring because they didn't remember their wishes. They had given it to the king. So that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you here. People deny simple things of life, you know. People deny their own desires, their own wishes, and it's bad. Even in Mahabharata, Bhishma, he performed a whole lot of sacrifices, okay, so that his clan, so that his nation would work right, okay. So he gave himself a lot of suffering. He gave a vow, he took a vow that he wouldn't, marry. He castrated himself and everything. I was listening to his story a day before yesterday was Sadhguru. I was listening about his story. So yeah, he denied himself the normal, basic natures of human. He said that I just want, I have taken this vow and everything. And even down the generation, the people he had given promise to was already dead and everything. Okay, still even down the generations, he never took away that such a serious wow, or the promise that he gave to people, that he suffered somewhere right inside. And that's why he took up a few decisions that really made other people suffer a lot. you know Universe, life was trying to give him chances, opportunity to break his promise, to break his vow, and live his life, have a wife, have a children. But every now and then he denied it. He was just so stick to, no, I will keep my promise, I will keep my vow. And he suffered, he really suffered in that sense. And that's why that is exactly what he gave away, because he knew suffering all his life. That's what he gave away, and that's how, Amba. So Amba, he actually destroyed the life of Amba, right? So he knew suffering, and that's what he did. Okay, that's what he gave. So Amba was the reason, who she burned in that, in that revenge. She burned in that thirst of revenge. Okay, and next birth she came as Draupadi. Okay, and she again was the reason for the Mahabharata, finally, the fight between the Kauravas and the Pandavas, and the whole, you know, uh, what happened. We know what happened, right? The kingdom saw so much destruction and so much tension and stress, and of course, Bhishma saw his death as well, in the way he saw. So, the basic, people deny life. That is what I'm trying to say. People deny their own natures. People, yeah, they deny their own natures, they deny their own lives. They are hesitant towards their own destiny, they're hesitant towards their own karma. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you these examples, right? And I hope I'm trying to make sense, or I hope मैं समझा पा रही हूँ what I really wanted you to understand, right? So yeah, I hope you like the video. Let me know in the comment section what do you really think about all these things.